Oh, a microphony.
And a phony at the mic.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
The Doctor of Discernment is now online.
You know, much like my show, in that it's a local reaction to things that are happening on a federal level.
Dispensing a daily dose of common sense. No prescription required.
Wow, do I have a boatload of stuff for you, from the crazy to the absurd. Let's start getting into it because, I mean, it is bizarro world out there. And I say, if it's obvious to me, it should be obvious to everybody. Oh, wow. Who could have seen this coming?
This is the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage.
Hold on to your butts.
Broadcasting from my basement bunker beneath Kello Radio. Welcome to the Fourth Hour with Greg Belfrage. So I pulled the trigger here a little bit early, and the reason that I've done that is the FBI is updating, and there it is. You can see it, talking about the suspect that they've arrested. So let's join this in progress.
In a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact, Tyler, also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there's been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices, bulges, capital O-W-O, what's this, question mark." Inscriptions on the three unfired casings read, "Hey fascist, exclamation point, catch, exclamation point." Up arrow symbol, right arrow.
Incredible,
and,
man. Absolutely
and
incredible.
3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow, Chow." And a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Yeah, this is a 22-year-old guy named Tyler Robinson that they have apprehended.
Such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well.
That's a conversation too. Could you do that? Family member, could you turn him in?
Thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah. But I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation.
I thought you might appreciate seeing this more than hearing me this
Charlie
morning.
was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m., where at my direction, the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night,
That's what did it.
the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise, thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said.
Yeah,
This would
this
not have been possible without you, the
22-year-old
media,
guy.
and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency.
22-year-old Tyler
The crime
Robinson
scene, just
is
a
who
little
they're
bit there. It is
talking
a
about.
large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI.
Wow.
And we are running out every single lead that we can.
I said that on the air this morning.
Will be run
7,000 as of yesterday.
The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake field office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our
They really
headquarters
pulled out
component
the
in Quantico,
stops.
all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators,
Thanks,
the
Brian.
agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is a very much an ongoing investigation, as
Am
the
I
governor
wrong
said.
that this
And
is
we
a
will
little bit
continue to work with state and
self-serving?
local authorities
I'm more
to
interested.
develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions. And we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation.
Can you imagine me in
As you know,
local
it's
law
been a
enforcement,
vast,
something like that
complicated,
happens, and
and a very,
the
very
eyes of the
fast-paced
entire country
investigation. You're
are
looking
on you?
at people standing up here who
That's
are
a
running
lot of
on,
pressure.
if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably
Yeah.
lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to
I'm
thank
curious
the
to hear
federal
what he
government
says.
for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been
I mean, I know they're going to
extraordinary in
withhold a
helping
lot
us
of,
work through
evidence,
this and
but
bring this person to justice.
I'm curious what they do have and what they
Most
can
of all,
talk about.
I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us.
Yeah.
I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community, because we needed those prayers. That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family, because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
So I'm hoping they have prosecutors
I
come
also
up
want to
here
give a
and-
special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here, and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack.
Don't you feel that
on
way?
Our ideals.
I'd appreciate your comments.
This cuts to the very
That's how I've been
foundation
feeling the last
of
few
who
days.
we are,
Very much so.
of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence. for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely.
I mean, what else provokes you to go on and kill
those
somebody
ideas with which you disagree?
just based on what they're
That's why
saying?
this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been.
Yeah, amen.
And it was as anger pushed me to the brink, it was actually Charlie's words that pulled me back. I'd like to share some of those. And specifically right now, if I could, I need to talk to the young people in our state, in my state, and all across the country. As President Trump reminded me, he said, you know who really loved Charlie? The youths. And he's right. Young people loved Charlie, and young people hated Charlie. And Charlie went into those places anyway. And these are the words that have helped me. Charlie said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence. He said, the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. The only way out of the labyrinth of suffering is to forgive. Welcome without judgment, love without condition, forgive without limit. He said, always forgive your enemies.
And this is the hateful guy
Nothing
we were
annoys them
talking
so
about
much.
on the air this morning. What
A few months
the
ago,
way that
I referenced this last night, Charlie posted
a
to
number
social
of
media,
people have been
when things are
acting on
moving
social
very
media
fast and
regarding
people
this.
are losing their minds, it's important to stay grounded. Turn off your phone, read scripture, spend time with friends, and remember, internet fury is not real life. It's going to be okay.
Great words.
He again said, when you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier to commit violence. He said, what we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have a reasonable agreement, where violence
Forgive
is
me, because
not an option.
honestly, I thought
Now,
there'd be
again,
more information.
To my young friends out there, you
There isn't
are
as much
inheriting
information
a
in this news
country
conference as I
where
expected there to
politics
be.
feels like rage. It feels like rage is the only option. But through those words, we have a reminder that we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now.
I agree.
Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet all of us
And what's
have an
amazing about this
opportunity right now to do something
guy
different.
that they,
I wanna
Tyler
thank my fellow
Robinson,
Utahns.
it was his family that
You know, this
alerted
bad stuff
authorities.
happens. For
I think that takes an
for
incredible
33
amount of
hours,
courage, you know.
I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us, that somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country.
No, he's a local guy.
Sadly,
from
that
Utah. Yeah.
prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But
that would be
I want you to look at how Utahns reacted
an elected
the last
leader.
2 nights.
Then that's your state, that's your community.
There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence. There were vigils, and prayers, and people coming together to share the humanity.
I've been praying ever since it happened.
I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes, because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us
gets to choose right now. You think it will be, or is that overstated?
If this is a turning point for us.
I mean, I would love it to be a turning point.
We get to make decisions. We have our agency.
I welcome your comments.
And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with with words I share often from a friend and author, Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country, and he said, "I'm not optimistic." He said, "I hate optimism." God, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened.
You make good things happen.
He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country.
That's pretty powerful as I think about it.
And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so.
Yeah, I'm hopeful too.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Governor, can you please speak to whether the suspect is speaking with authorities and his demeanor?
This is where I think we might get some additional information.
I cannot speak to that. Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not. And by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. That's I think that speaks for itself.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating.
Think about that. Somebody who's so motivated, that's just hatred, evil in my book.
There's nothing more that we can share at this time.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you anticipate any more arrests?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
Do you believe he acted alone?
Yes, but the investigation is ongoing. Yes. So right
I just
now,
thought some information might come forward from the
you
questions.
heard the president this morning
a little bit more
report
meaningful.
that he was taken into custody. That his family and a friend helped to deliver him into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. For those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, I'll go here. I can't share any more than what I've already shared. Yeah. How we obtained the gun was found here.
Know how he got the
so
gun.
I don't have much more details on that. We
know
do
how
know
you got the gun.
that he drove. We had his car here on
Shooter left the
campus,
gun wrapped
and
in a
then
towel
we had his car going
off campus.
going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County.
I don't know that we're going to get any
I'm sorry?
more out of this.
We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that. Yes, in fact, it was just released. Yes. I can't answer that right.
So I think what I'm going to do is let's leave that there. There really isn't anything, questions really. They really didn't give much information. This 22-year-old is under arrest. Tyler Robinson is his name. This is what I was sharing near the end of the program this morning. And it was his family that turned him in. It was his father in conversation with a minister who then turned this guy in. And he's been under arrest, I guess, since last night. And they announced it this morning. The president was on Fox and Friends this morning, and he announced it on Fox and Friends. Didn't give a lot of details other than the fact that they had made an arrest. He did talk about briefly, I think the president had mentioned that it was this, again, that it was family. Yeah, somebody who was very close to him turned him in, the president said on Fox and Friends this morning, and then was also consulting with a minister who was involved with law enforcement. And I don't know that there's anything beyond that. The president was asked this morning on Fox and Friends how much of this he has watched, and he said, I didn't watch. He said, I heard about it. I would never have made a good doctor. Let me put it that way. The president said, I mean, I heard enough. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to remember Charlie that way, which I totally understand. Charlie Kirk and Donald Trump had become friends, and the president has spoken very, very, powerfully, I think, about Charlie Kirk. He leaves behind an incredible legacy. Okay, we've been at it here for a while. I'm going to leave it there for today. I really don't have anything to add beyond what we've already discussed. Just stay positive. I think that's the best thing we can do. Even in the midst, we find ourselves surrounded by hatred. There's just a lot of hatred. There was hatred for Charlie Kirk. There is hatred on the part of a lot of people for those that disagree with them. Unless you agree with it, don't be one of those folks. I really try not to be. That's not what I'm about. And I hope that you're not either. I think this is our opportunity. I wonder what will happen in the wake of Charlie's death as people embrace him and his legacy about being able to debate ideas and have conversations and not be hateful. That's my hope. Unfortunately, not a lot of what we see. That's what I was talking about this morning on the air, was some of the, people getting fired over social media posts that they have made and so on. Let's you and I live our lives by example. And I'll leave it there as we head into the weekend. I will see you again on Monday. Until then, my friends, I'm underground and gone.